Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. Quick little video today to tell you about the National Foundation Day in Japan. It's about the Meiji Restoration in the late 1800s. Anyway, we get some rare vehicles back and some half price on existing pack vehicles. So we don't really care about the history, at least I don't. I guess if you're Japanese you do. Anyway, 50% off on the 4 following packs. We have the Japanese starter pack. Not bad, you don't get any golden eagles with it, but you do get 2 decent vehicles, and I think it's 1,200 silver lions. We then have 50% off the Yamashiro. This is the top tier premium battleship for the Japanese. 6 14-inch Vickers guns. Pretty good ship, not the best. I'll check out Trakini Phil's video on that if you're interested in it. We also have 50% off the ADTW. This is battle rating 11.0. As you can see in the picture, this thing is best for just rocket rushing at the start of a match. It only gets AIM 7Es, I believe, so it's not really got reliable semi-active radar homing missiles. I think it also gets AIM 9Ps, I could be wrong on that, we'll take a look in a second. But it's mainly just for rushing at the start of a match with rockets and grinding that way. It's not a dogfighting premium by any chance. Then finally have the Type 16 FPS. This is the first production, something like that. That's what it stands for. First production. I don't know. It doesn't stand for first person shooter. I assure you. Anyway, the Type 16 is battle rating 9.3. It's not really in the best situation at the minute. I think it only has M735, so it's not got the strongest round. But again, we'll take a look at it shortly. We also have 2 other premiums back for Golden Eagles. The first is actually a super rare premium, is the A6M5 Ko. I believe this was only available in the Pacific campaign pack quite a few years ago. I'm not sure if you can still actually buy that or not, but this is one of the best Zeros in the game. It's got a good balance between the amount of cannon rounds and it's got decent performance as well. It used to be a monster at battle rating 4.7, however I think it is now battle rating 5.0. Still good at that battle rating, but it is just a Zero. Like the battle rating 3.3 Zeros, they're very good at turning. Decent guns, but not much ammunition, but you can be defeated pretty easily if an enemy is just faster than you and runs away. Then also have the IGN Kosimo. This is a destroyer. It has 6 5-inch guns across 3 turrets. The problem with the Japanese destroyers is that they only have high explosive rounds. They don't have any semi-armor piercing or HEVT. Does have, I think, 16 long lance torpedoes though, so very, very good in arcade ship battles or arcade naval battles, where you do get a lead indicator for torpedoes. But for naval realistic, not the best in my opinion. And then finally, we have the Type 74G. It's better for Golden Eagles, and it's not very good, I'm not going to lie to you. The Type 16 is a much better pickup in my opinion, while the Type 74G has first gen thermals and DM33. The Type 16 has third gen thermals, but has a much weaker round really. So you've got a balance between speed, mobility, and gun handling with the Type 16, and you've got a slow, bulky, but decent damaging gun with the Type 74G. Both of these premiums are battle rating 9.3, so they could go in a nice lineup together. I don't really know how much this thing is on sale for. It doesn't really tell me, but it's not the best premium. It's famously one of the tanks that I didn't like. And then finally, we do get a crane decal as well, if you are into that stuff, I guess. Alright, so I apologise. The A6M5 Ko is actually battle rating 5.0 in the 4th rank of the Japanese tech tree. It's got 250 rounds for its cannons, so 125 rounds per gun. And it does also have the 2 7.7mm Type 97s in the nose cowling as well. It's a pretty decent Zero. It's kind of like one of the iconic ones. Obviously, if you're not really into the Japanese playstyle or the Japanese tech tree, it isn't really going to be for you. But because it is a rank 4, you can use it to grind out literally to battle rating 9.0. So it's a good overall pickup if you're looking to grind the Japanese tech tree. It's basically the same playstyle as every other Japanese plane, so you are going to learn how to use it. And yeah, it's a decent little pickup. So next we have the Yamashiro. This is in the 5th rank of the Japanese naval tech tree, so you can use it to grind out literally every ship in the Japanese tech tree at the minute. It has 6 turrets, each housing 2 14-inch guns. Pretty decent penetration, has a stock semi-armor piercing round. If you can see down there though, it says the fuse delay is 0.01 seconds. That isn't very good, to be honest. You're not really going to punch through any armor and then explode. the best semi-armor piercing rounds, they have a fuse delay of like 0.05 seconds. Doesn't sound much, but when these shells are moving at like nearly 800 meters a second, that 0.04 extra second allows you to just punch through enemy armor belts and do lots and lots of damage. The armor piercing rounds, though, as you can see, do have a fuse delay of 0.05 seconds, and they have 13 kilos of TNT filler, which is pretty decent. It's not as good as the Soviet battleship, I can't remember what the name of it is, the Kronstadt, sorry, but it's still a decent little premium. The Kosimo is in the 3rd rank of the Japanese tech tree. As we can see, it has 3 turrets, each with 2 5-inch guns. As I said, we only get high explosive rounds. We do get the Type 93 long lance torpedoes though. We do have 16, I believe it has 2 quad launchers with reloads, as you can see here. These things are like the reload tubes, and this bit as well. The Japanese actually had like a little railroad on most of their destroyers, which allowed them to move stuff around. Very, very good design, but in battles, obviously taking a hit here will send your ship to the bottom of the ocean, which many Japanese destroyers did. The Iron Bottom Sound didn't get that name for no reason. Anyway, the Kosimo costing nearly, I think it's £21 for me, or £22. Not really worth it. I don't think you can get the Adachi anymore actually, but the Shimakaze you can still get. You're probably better just putting this money towards the Mayoko or the Mikuma if you can afford it. I wouldn't really pick this up, to be honest, lads. The F-4EJ ADTW, it is battle rating 11.0 in the 7th rank of the Japanese tech tree, so you can use it to grind out literally every plane in the game. I only have the F-15J left to get, and I already have a talisman on the EJ Kai, so I'm not probably going to pick this up. But it's got a really nice camouflage. It's the Development Test Wing. Not really too sure what the Japanese were developing, considering this is an American plane. But as you can see, we only get AIM-7Es or AIM-7Ds, so not particularly good semi-active radar homing missiles. I don't think you get pulse Doppler, but I may be wrong on that. You get AIM-9Ps, which for AIM-9Ps is certainly nothing to scoff at. You do get a wide selection of bombs though, both high drag and freefall bombs. You also get Mighty Mouse as well as Zunis, as well as the Gao 4 minigun add-on pods. Again, this is probably a decent pickup if you're looking to grind the Japanese tech tree. You see a lot of these rocket bombing at the start of a match. They don't really have the best air-to-work capability whatsoever though. They also don't have any precision ground strike. You don't have any like Mavericks or GBU-8s or anything like that. But it's a decent little grinder. Many people swear by it, so it might be worth the pickup. Alright, so the last 2 vehicles we're looking at, the Type 16 FPS, first production series, that's what it was called. You can get this really cool camouflage with it. You're going to have to pay, I think, 200 more Golden Eagles for that. But as we can see, we only have the M735 round. Not particularly good in my opinion whatsoever. You also get a Heat FS round as well as a Hash and Smoke. If we quickly load into a battle, you can see that we do get very high resolution thermal imager for the gunner sight, as well as the commander, and we do also have the commander's override as well, making it a very versatile and fast tank. You also get a 50 cal on the roof, which is going to allow you to shoot down some potentially very spicy incoming helicopters. The tank is pretty mobile though, but obviously, as you'd imagine, it has absolutely no armor whatsoever, so you are going to have to pick engagements pretty well. Go around the flanks, can't really be a brawler with this thing. The other vehicle though, the Type 74G, this used to be one of the only vehicles in the game with thermals alongside the Leopard A1A1 L44. It only has first generation thermal imager. It does have a laser warning receiver and a laser rangefinder. It gets the M735 as well, but it also gets the Type 93, which is the Japanese designation for the German-made DM33, even though I think it is Israeli created. So this gun is better than the Type 16 in terms of the damage output, but it's basically like the Leopard 1, A1A1. It's basically a Cold War design. It's still using road homogeneous armor, so it's pretty much completely redundant at 9.3, which is usually going to be 10.0 games facing Leopard 2 Panzer Battalion 123s. So I think this is a very antiquated and old design in War Thunder. You're much better getting the Type 16 FPS. Anyway, lads, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and got a little bit of information, and I'll see you later.